Hello, Cougars. Let's take a look at how to find an estimation of a square root that is not a perfect square without using a calculator. Let's do a couple of examples. Okay, boys and girls, let's find the square root of 12 without a calculator. How do we do that? Well, I know that the square root, I know 12 is not a perfect square, so I have to find the perfect square that comes before and after 12. Well, the perfect square that would come before 12 would be 9. So I know it's got to be somewhere between the square root of 9, and the perfect square that comes after 12 would be 16. So, and the square root of 9 is 3, and the square root of 16 is 4. So my answer is somewhere between 3 and 4. So it's 3 and some fraction. How do I get my numerator? I get my numerator from finding the difference between 12 and 9, which is 3. And then I find my denominator by finding the difference between 9 and 16, which is 7. And that's my answer, or my estimation. Okay, and this is pretty doggone close to the actual square root of 12. So it would be 3 and 3/7. Let's take a look at, let's try another one. Use another color. Let's say we want to find the square root of 80. Okay, again, 80 is not a perfect square. What's the perfect square that comes after 80? That's easy, it's 81. And what's the perfect square that comes before 80? That would be 64. The square root of 64 is 8. The square root of 81 is 9. So my answer, the answer to the square root of 80 is somewhere between 8 and 9, 8 and some fraction. What's the difference between 80 and 64? I believe that would be 16. And what is the difference between, how do I get my denominator? It's the difference between 64 and 81, which would be 6. We're looking at 17. So my answer is, or my estimation is 8 and 16/17. Think of it this way, okay? I get my 17, my denominator, because the difference between these two perfect squares is 17, okay? And then my difference between 64 and 81 is 16, so it's 16/17 of the way there. So it's 8 and then 16/17. Anyway, you get the numerator from finding the difference between these two, and then you get your denominator by finding the difference between these two. Hope that was helpful. Always, I hope that was helpful, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.